Adonai natan, Adonai lakach. Yehi Shem Adonai mevorach, Yehi Shem Adonai mevorach. Yadadai dai dai, yadadai dai dai, yadadai dai 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 dai, yadadai dai dai, yadadai dai dai, yadadai dai 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 dai.
My name is Len Lawrence, and I'm the General Manager of Mount Sinai Memorial Parks and Mortuaries. On behalf of Angela Madahi, President of Sinai Temple, Eric Diamond, Chairman of Sinai Temple Cemetery Management Committee, and the staff of Mount Sinai Memorial Parks and Mortuaries, welcome to our 63rd annual Kever Avot service. As I look out on our congregation, I see many familiar faces, and I notice the absence of friends who have joined us for services in years past. Their physical presence is missing, yet they are here in the hearts of family and friends who are here with us today. So for those of you, our extended family, who have experienced the loss, we sincerely hope that today's service is comforting. Saying the Kaddish and observing Yortzeit for loved ones is an important tradition that brings memories and comfort to all of us. It is why, after every funeral service, Mount Sinai presents the family with a printed calendar that lists the Yortzeit dates for the next 10 years. As part of Mount Sinai's new initiative to incorporate new technology and to be greener, we recognize that many people now use electronic devices for reminders. And for some, the thought of using paper calendars is no longer convenient. That is why we launched something called digitalyartzeit.com, our free service that sends email notifications of upcoming Yortzeit observances on either the Hebrew or the English calendar. It's simple to use and will ensure that you never miss a Yortzeit again. If you're one of those people like me who relies on a smartphone to schedule everything, I encourage you to pick up a brochure to learn more about our free digital Yortzeit web application, or go to mountsinaiparks.org for more information. There are a number of people sitting on our bima today, including Rabbi Nicole Guzik and Cantor Marcus Feldman of Sinai Temple, who will lead us in prayer, meditation, and song. We also welcome the Sinai Temple Choir, directed and accompanied by Mr. Aryell Cohen. To all of the service participants, Rabbi Guzik, Cantor Feldman, Eric Diamond, Michael Bordy, Aryell Cohen, Daisy Miller, the choir, and Nina Tremaine, please accept our heartfelt welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you all. To learn more about today's participants, you can see their bios in the back of our prayer book. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Eric Diamond, Chairman of the Cemetery Management Committee of Sinai Temple.
As chairman of Sinai Temple's Cemetery Management Committee and a past president of the synagogue, it's my privilege to greet you all this morning and to welcome you to our Kever Avot service. Sinai Temple has operated Mount Sinai as a service to the entire Jewish community for more than 50 years. At Mount Sinai, serving the entire Jewish community is more than just a slogan. For us, it is a core value. The Talmud teaches us that each Jew is responsible for one another. We appreciate and embrace this obligation. We are here to serve the Southern California Jewish community just as Jews all over the world have cared for one another for thousands of years. Working with the Fellowship Program of Jewish Family Services of Greater Los Angeles, Mount Sinai will bury every indigent Jew without charge. When tragedy strikes a family and the child is lost, Mount Sinai will bury that child without charge, notwithstanding the financial circumstances of the family. We will not deprive a Jewish funeral to any member of our community who cannot or should not have to deal with that obligation. It is very central to what we do here. Each year, Mount Sinai's Grants and Allocations Program distributes hundreds of thousands of dollars to organizations throughout the community. We support organizations philosophically close to us. We support organizations geographically close to us. Our community support is focused on seniors, on children and schools, synagogues and community groups, and Israel. Each spring, the Grants and Allocations Subcommittee meets to review applications and to make allocations in a way that we believe fosters those values that are important to our community. This tradition of caring for one another in the United States goes back to the very beginnings of the Jewish community here. In 1654, a shipload of refugees from Recife, Brazil, came to New Amsterdam. They were Jews. They were indigent. They were searching for refuge. And yet the civil authority at the time did not want them to become part of the community. All sorts of barriers were raised. Allegations were made that these indigent Jews would become a burden on the community, that they would not be able to support themselves. And in response to this, the Jews of Holland instructed the government in New Amsterdam that should any Jew become a burden on the community, the Jews of Holland would support them financially. It's what we do for one another. It was this act of tzedakah, of righteousness, not charity, but righteousness, that allowed our ancestors to begin again in the New World. At Mount Sinai, we have continued this tradition of righteous support for more than 50 years. We continue to embrace that tradition today. We are committed to continuing this tradition into the future. It's what we do at Mount Sinai. I wish all of you a very happy and healthy new year, a Gemar Chatima Tova, that you all may be sealed in the book of life for a year of peace, a year of health, a year of comfort. And I thank you all for being here today. Shana Tova.
The sound of the shofar calls us to worship as a reminder of the eternal connection to the Creator who provides life and in honor of those whose love and memory resides in our hearts forever. Please rise.
Tekiah Shvarim Teruah Tekiah Gedolah
In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind, in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of the autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year when it ends, remember them. And we're weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we're lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us, as we remember them.
As a beloved tradition at Mount Sinai, we include a Mishaberach, a prayer of healing. There's a practice in many congregations to rise and recite the names of those who are sick, for whom we ask the support of God and of community. We start the Mishaberach with Cantor Feldman and the choir singing this beautiful melody. Then anyone who wishes to say a name aloud for a specific person, please rise and call out that name or names when my gesture reaches your section.
Kever Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah, Yevarech, v'yirapeh et hacholim. Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, veLeah, v'yevarech v'yirapeh et hacholim. Elna refana, Elna refana.
Mount Sinai's Book of Memorial honors those who lost their lives in the Holocaust. Every year at Kever Avot, we open the book and light a memorial candle in memory of them all. Daisy Miller, co-founder of the World Federation of Jewish Child Survivors of the Holocaust and Descendants, will be saying the prayer for the martyrs and lighting the memorial candle. Please rise.
Exalted, compassionate God, grant perfect peace among the holy and the pure in your sheltering presence to the souls of all our brethren, men, women, and children of the house of Israel, martyrs of our people who gave their lives for the sanctification of his name. May their bravery, dedication, and purity be reflected in our lives. May their memory endure, inspiring trust and loyalty in our lives. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life, and may they rest eternally in dignity and peace. Amen.
God
Weeks ago already, I was attempting to comfort a woman whose husband recently passed away. And she looked at me and said, "Rabbi, I'm just not ready to speak about my husband in the past tense. I love my husband. I can't ever imagine saying that I loved my husband." And I responded to her, "Then speak about your husband in the present. Who are we to say that your husband's soul isn't with us at this very moment?" And she whispered back to me, "Okay, Rabbi, that's right. I love my husband." And after that conversation, it led me to the question I want to explore with all of you this morning. Does the soul survive? In my various conversations with congregants and with friends and with family, this is the question that surfaces time and time again. After the body quiets, after the vessel that contains the sparks of life fades away, does the soul live on? We know that Judaism offers us a variety of answers. Dr. Eitan Fishbane, a professor at the Jewish Theological Seminary, explains that while we are so deeply embodied, that's not the true essence of who we are. Meaning in this world, we're taught to focus on our physical bodies, how we look, what we wear, what we eat, how others perceive our exterior. But Dr. Fishbane reveals a piece of our tradition that focuses on the soul continuing. That after we die, the soul is in this world in order to engage in tikkun, the constant repairing of this broken world, or if you will, the constant repairing of our broken hearts. It's a complex idea, but I think the notion that the essence of the human being is the soul is quite beautiful and can be quite comforting. Kabbalists write, "It's known to the masters of knowledge that the body of a person is not the person himself." In other words, as the shell of our body breaks away, the soul remains, ready to take on God's next assignment, the soul's subsequent divine task. I understand this to mean that our loved ones' souls constantly surround us. They're prepared to do God's work. Our loved ones whisper words of encouragement and guidance, solace and direction. They remind each and every one of us to live with purpose and with kindness. And they ask us through our deeds and through our words that we live each day shaping holy, righteous lives. I imagine them sitting here right with us, right now, gently telling us that they are here. They have not forgotten us. They're comforted to know that we have not forgotten them, and we should not be afraid. And expressing over and over again that life is one continuous cycle, and all of our souls, the souls of this world and the souls of the world to come, we are still together. And together we know that there is much work to do. A few months ago, my 5-year-old daughter surprised me in a beautiful way. She was working out family relationships in her head, and she asked if my mother, her grandmother, whom she's very close with, has a mother. And I said, yes, her name is Grandma Carol. And of course, as all 5-year-olds do, she said, well, where is she? And I said, well, Annie, she died when I was younger. And Annie said, oh, that means that she was your grandma. I said, yes. And she took my hand and said, Mommy, do you miss her? And I said, Annie, I miss her every single day. But all of a sudden, in the most comforting, reassuring, filling way, I felt as if my grandmother was holding my hand. That when my daughter took my hand, it was as if my grandmother was sitting with me and was sitting with her great-granddaughter, waiting to hear me share stories of our family and memories of the past and hope for the future. And so I did just that. And I vividly felt the presence of her soul. I told my daughter about my grandmother. And in a way, I felt as if I was introducing my daughter to my grandmother. Why do we say so often, may the memory of our loved ones be for a blessing? I'm starting to realize we say that because the journey of the soul is never ending. That the souls of our loved ones are here to make our lives a blessing. That when we struggle with loneliness or grief, anger, solitude, or abandonment, our loved ones are present. Not in the ways that we're used to in the physical sense, but I believe they're here. In the unexplainable, everlasting bonds that grow between two people who are in love, between a parent and a child, between siblings, between grandparents and grandchildren, between relatives, close friends, between people that form ties that can never be severed. And you know exactly the feeling I'm speaking about. It's the feeling when your heart swells with inexplicable love. It's the feeling when someone understands you better than you understand yourself. It's the comfort knowing that someone else wakes up every day, either close or far away, needing you and loving you. But that kind of relationship, it doesn't end because someone's physical exterior drifts away. Those are the kinds of relationships that last for eternity. Those are the souls that stay with us, that often silently push us in directions we don't expect. Sometimes those are the souls that allow us to get out of bed and take another step. Those are the souls that remind us to embrace another day of life. On Rosh Hashanah, we ask God to remember Zochrenu L'chaim, to remember us and inscribe us in the book of life. But in the liturgy, we also recite the following, a little less known. God, nothing is forgotten in your awe-inspiring presence. Nothing is concealed before your gaze. You remember every deed, and nothing in creation can be hidden from you. Blessed is the person who does not forget you. Blessed is the one who draws strength from you. So today I ask you to think about the High Holy Day words in a different way. Imagining the souls of our beloved family and friends, holding our hands. We say out loud, blessed is this community that holds close the memories of those we love. For their souls walk this world with us. They give us strength, and their journey is far from over. At the start of 5778, may the souls of our beloveds guide us. As we feel comforted by their presence in our lives, let us shape this world under their watchful gaze with righteousness, with mercy, with purpose, and with love. May the memories of the departed feel very close to us. Let their lives be for a blessing, today and always. Amen.
את נשמות כל אלה שהזכרנו היום בברכה לגן עדן תהי מנוחתם לכן בעל הרחמים יסירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים בצרור החיים ונשמותיהם
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I walk confronted with death and loss. We do not remain in the place of destitution. Movement is the invariable law of the Spirit. There is no life without the valley. But to believe in the reality of the valley alone, to neglect the reality of the mountain, is to forget how to live. What is it that allows us to make our way through? The recognition that we are not alone. But in the spread of the talit and the spread of the cloud covering is the same message. God is with you, above you, and around you. Your journey will not be easy, but it is assured. Deep faith does not insist that God cushion our steps. You pray not for ease, but for death. We know that the author of the 23rd Psalm has walked the valley. Know too that he has come to sing to us of its lessons, and for God whose mercy saw him through.
Adonai roi lo echsar bino deshe yarbitzeini al mei menuchot
When Kaddish is recited, we affirm our love of those so near and dear who have physically left us. Our love, however, does not rest on physical survival. It is deeper than that. When we love the inner being of the beloved, the quality that makes for uniqueness, the spirit that creates personality and character. With time, we learn to handle the never-ending pain of loss, but that does not erode the affection and emotions we feel for the one who no longer moves about in our midst. When we lose one who is dear, we mourn, but we must not mourn excessively. We must be grateful for what we have had and find comfort in our memories.
I'll ask you to please rise for the mourner's Kaddish. And as you rise, I'll ask you to please say, either out loud or silently in your heart, whichever you feel comfortable doing so, the names of the departed, that, as I said, are constantly woven throughout your own soul. that exist within your own heart. Take a moment to think of those names or say them aloud. Please recite with me the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 12. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabba ve'alma divra kerute v'yamlich malchute v'chayichon v'yomechon u'chaye decho be'Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'alam u'lamei amaya Yit barach ve'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yit hadar v'yitele v'yitalam shemei dekudisha brichu le'ela u'le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya V'chaim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the memories of the departed forever be a comfort to each and every one of us. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated.
Osei shalom b'mromav Shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen, amen. Osei shalom
Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the universe, in this beautiful gathering together, let us focus on gratitude. We'll focus on family and friendship and community. Dear God, all of the wonderful gifts you bestow upon us each and every day, but we often forget to acknowledge. But dear God, remind us that the souls of the departed continue with us on our own journey. And this year, may we seek out our mission, the year's purpose. And together with our loved ones, may we find ways to add our unique light and voice in this world for goodness and for peace. God, may the memories of the departed forever be a blessing. I wish all of you a Shana Tova, a happy and healthy new year. May you all be inscribed in the book of life. Amen.
As you leave today, please share your thoughts and feelings about today's service with us by filling out a comment card and dropping it off at our registration tables. We hope that today's service offered comfort and peace. On behalf of the staff and management of Mount Sinai Memorial Parks and Mortuaries, we wish everyone a happy, healthy, and peaceful New Year. This concludes our annual Kever Avot Memorial Service, the Shana Tova.